Hello. We, uh, you know who we are.
And you are watching #Truth with Scott Larson.
Roll it.
Watch it all fall down around you now. Was it ever really worth it? Having your kingdom crumble to the ground? Because you never had the courage. Stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up.
That's what I'm talking about. Hello, everybody. Welcome to #Truth. Tonight we have the one, the only, Mr. Pro Wrestling Union himself, Cole McAbee. How you doing, man?
I am doing good, Scott Larson. How are you doing tonight, sir?
I am doing great. Explosion. Right off the bat, we're going to talk about that, and then we're going to get into the meat and potatoes of why you're on the show tonight. But Explosion coming back. Tell me what happened. Why did it stop for a little bit?
Well, the reason why it stopped was because, COVID restrictions had lifted up, so we were able to go back to doing the complete live shows. So that started taking a little bit more precedent, but this version of Explosion is going to be just a little different. We're still going to get some good matches, but it's also going to be one of these things that we're going to put out something like on a bi-monthly basis, basically just to let people know what we've got coming up, along with highlighting certain matches that we have had with Pro Wrestling Union, because between April to now, we actually have enough that has been documented and filmed and everything like that has not actually made it onto YouTube and stuff like that. So instead of trying to keep it in the canister, we're going to start slowly leaking that out for the fans to watch, because we've been getting good feedback.
So you're slowly pouring the gasoline to start the explosion.
Exactly. So, and we're gonna start that October the 30th.
There you go, without a doubt. William D. Norris, who that is.
Who that is. I don't know either, William.
William D. Norris, I want to thank you very much, and you know what I'm thanking you for. I don't have to say it, but thank you very much, sir. You are the first one. Thank you. Sarah, good evening, gents. As you can see, Vista Ridge is back, being a sponsor of #Truth, Vista Ridge Outfits. Hopefully they'll be back up and running soon. The Facebook page, the Facebook page and every other page she has, it'll be up and running soon. Luke Fury watching us on YouTube. Thank you, Luke. He said, y'all ready for tomorrow? We're going to get into that, Luke. Definitely getting into that. And Joshua Millwood said, hey, can't wait to bring out the clowns tomorrow to put smiles on faces. There you go.
There you go.
Oh, the cat's out of the bag. I know we were talking about Pro Wrestling Union, but these guys can't wait. What's going on tomorrow, Cole? Tell everybody.
Tomorrow in the afternoon, so that way nobody confuses it for the evening. Tomorrow afternoon at the Unifier Department in Spartanburg, South Carolina, Pro Wrestling Union, along with Classic Pro Wrestling, we're going to be at the Unifier Department for the benefit for Buckshot. For anybody that has not been seeing the information that we've been putting out here for this event, this is a strictly all proceeds go to Buck Carter, who suffered a stroke back in early May. And this is going towards his medical bills, everything that he's been having to go through with therapy, the medications, everything that he's been having to go through, and he's still fighting it. He's getting better and better every day. There's some days, like anybody that suffers from stroke or any of devastating ailments, you're going to have your good days, you're going to have your bad days. The thing is that he's a fighter, and so we're honored that the Carters, they allowed me to be able to put this together, and we got a great card. We're gonna start letting people in at 4:30 in the afternoon. We're gonna start the matches at 5:30 or earlier, depending on how many people start getting in through the door. Because if we start getting them packed in, we're gonna just all right, let's get this show on the road. Because there's other things that are happening that evening. We got shows in Gaffney. We've got shows in Taylor's. There's other professional wrestling shows that are happening in the area, and we want people to actually have an opportunity to not only check out this show because it is a benefit show that helps support one of our brothers, but we want people to have the opportunity to go out there and support other shows well.
We will definitely be putting that poster back up more than once, so don't worry. It'll be back up there if you didn't get the information. We will be putting it up there many times. But yeah, speaking of Buck Carter, I went to a few of those shows there at the Unit Fire Department. First of all, good place to have a show. Great seating, not a bad seat in the house, a good place to have a show. But I went there, and I always tell this story, and I'm going to tell it again. I probably told it the last time we were on talking about it, but we went in to the show, and Buck is part of a tag team. Him and his tag team partner have been tagging for quite a while. And we go in and we sit down. Me and my wife and my daughter were there at the show, and there's this little girl. She's got to be 5 years old, and she's going around, and Buck's sticking his head out the door, and the little girl's like, "That's my grandpa. That's my grandpa over there. He's the best wrestler in the world. That's my grandpa. He owns this. He's the best. He's the best wrestler in the world." She did that for like the whole 20 minutes before the show. Well, it comes down to the main event, and Buck and his partner come out, and she lifts up this little sign that says something bad about him, and she starts booing him. I'm like, what? What happened to the greatest grandpa in the world, the greatest wrestler in the world? She's like, boo, you suck, boo. I'm like, what the heck? Yeah. Only in wrestling can you find something like that. That is so cool.
Hey, she gets it. That's all that matters. She gets it.
But Buck is a great guy. I've talked to him a few times, and I got to talk to him on Facebook the other day. I asked him how he was doing and had a small conversation with him. And if you guys have never had the chance to meet Buck Carter, please do. He also had a show, Bath Time with Buck, that is epic. I mean, that was the first time I ever saw Buck Carter, was on that show. I had a friend of mine who I had just started doing #Truth, and he called me up and he was like, "Oh, I gotta go. Buck's in the bathtub." And I'm like, "What?" He's like, you gotta turn on Facebook and put, Bath Time with Buck. And I was like, okay, so I did. And there he is in the bathtub with all these rubber duckies, and he's named every one of them, and he's, talking about the wrestlers and all. It was amazing. I laughed so hard I almost fell out of my chair, and I watched it every time he had it on, and it was just amazing. Great guy.
So we are very honored to be doing this, and I'll even run down the card real quick. Now, professional wrestling, the one thing that is always on the poster, it's in the very, very fine print with a little asterisk right there before it, card subject to change. I won't reveal what may be a card-changing deal, but also at the same time, I will reveal this part. It did make room for another wrestler and someone that I know Scott likes very much. He's a former CPW heavyweight champion. Jackson Sane will be in attendance.
Oh, snap. My boy Jax just had a baby, so congratulations.
Yeah, he just had a baby Jax. Baby insane. But as far as the card that we know that's perfectly intact, we still have the Legends Cup, where we're going to have 4 tag teams that are going to be part of that. The winner of that will get a #1 contender shot against the Pro Wrestling Union Tag Team Champions. Hands down, and I don't care what anybody says, they're the best unsigned professional wrestling tag team in the independents, and that is the Heat Seekers.
Yes.
So we're gonna see the winners of that face them later on down the road. We also have our newly crowned Carolinas champion, the great Dame of the game.
Amazing.
Yeah, Bebop.
That is amazing. Bebop. But that belt, I'm sorry. You showed me that belt the last time we were on it. Oh, my gosh. That belt is just amazing. And Bebop holding it is amazing, too. I love Bebop.
Yeah, he's going to be defending that championship against Luka Daniels. And he's been traveling up and down the scene. You know, you may have seen him over in Bowling Springs. You may have seen him down in Georgia. You may have seen him in North Carolina a couple of times, but he's making his way around the Southeast a lot, and he's been garnering a lot of attention, and of course caught my attention. So we decided to go ahead and give him this opportunity, and he's definitely down and looking forward to challenging Bebop, because Spartanburg is technically that county has become Luca's new home. He's originally from New York, but that's Bebop's hometown is Spartanburg. So this is also a homecoming for Bebop.
Nice.
So,
very nice. We got a lot of people talking. Ron Emerson said, let's go. Joshua said, Cole, you're a great man for doing this. I'm happy to be a part of it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Buck is an amazing guy.
Yes, he is.
Nancy said, that's how you do it. And my dad said, bless you folks. It's great to see wrestling folks helping other people.
Yes. And I'll circle around to something else just real quick, Scott. And I know this is not part of the program, and I don't care if it's not part of the program. I want to give a big shout out to Excalibur, because you got yours that's coming up just next month, and I think that's awesome, and I support you guys on that. Honestly,
I've got a commercial I'm going to be playing during the show. I was told I had to play it, so.
Well, no, I want you to play it.
I'm not, like I said before, I'm not a guy I'm not going to toot my own horn. I'm here to help others. I've always done it. It's hard for me to, do this and ask, and it's hard, but I need it. I ain't gonna lie to you. I need the help. So I'm not too good to say I'm not in dire need, because I do have to have brain surgery by February. So yeah, it's just, I can't wait. I was told February or starting fatal. So
and I will, and I believe I am off that weekend. I know there's a couple of things, so I'm still debating whether or not I'll be there or one of the other places that gave me an invite. Because I definitely want to be there to support that. I don't.
At an indie place, you're representing me well. It doesn't matter where you're at. If you're doing indie wrestling, you're representing me very well that night. Because that's what I've always been about it, and I tell everybody, because there's a big show that night that's going on just down the road, and a lot of people have got a hold of me and said, Scott, I'm sorry, they booked this before your show. I booked this before your show came out. I'm sorry. Don't be sorry, dude. This is what you do. This is what I love to watch. This is my part of my life. Go do it, because that's going to make me happy. You're doing what you like to do. You know what I'm saying? That's never going to make me upset. Ever, So speaking of, let's get back to Buckshot for a minute. I'll get back to mine, I promise.
All right,
Buckshot for a minute.
All right,
got a championship match coming up.
Well, we do, but actually, we got two championship matches. One that just got announced, and that's going to be the next one.
Yep.
So our friends over at Pro Wrestling Turbo, and anybody that hasn't checked out Turbo, you need to. They have a brand new heavyweight champion, and that is the Real Cutshaw. Whether you know him as Joshua Cutshaw, whether you know him as Cooter Shaw, whether you know him as Vinny Vegas, the man of multiple personalities, you don't know who you're going to get depending on. First
time I ever saw that guy, he came out with a cage on his head. I knew he was destined for fame.
And dethroned a champion that held the title for I think it's over 600 days. I don't remember the exact count. Patrick Scott, who, pound for pound, one of the best wrestlers in the region. I don't care who thinks otherwise. They're wrong. He is. So because of his championship win and everything like that, we actually talked with the guys over there at Turbo. So now the triple threat match that was the Real Cutshaw versus Sigmund, one half of the Pro Wrestling Union Tag Team Champions, and the former Pro Wrestling Union Heavyweight Champion, the Outlaw Randy Wayne, is now officially a Pro Wrestling Turbo title bout, three-way dance, championship on the line.
Wow. Nice.
three of the toughest athletes in the Southeast, hands down. So it's going to be physical. It's going to be rough. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be like the best violence you're going to see. So
man, that's I love that. I like that. I like that. And that's when card subject to change is awesome.
yeah. And I think this was the championship match that you were alluding to, the Pro Wrestling Union Heavyweight Championship.
Wait a minute. I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to set it up with the promo itself. Let's set it up with the promo itself.
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and play the promo, and then we'll talk about it afterwards. So here's the championship match that we are discussing.
Looks like he could be going for that twisting neckbreaker. Oh! And Landon Hell is down and out.
Chase, you're great in the ring. I will not deny that, but after seeing that over and over and over again, why do you think that you deserve a title shot? You look up to Derek Vanderford as if he was King Midas, that he's going to promise you all of this gold. Well, guess what, man? Back in June, I had the right to call myself PWU Heavyweight Champion after Randy Wayne and I went to war. And I will continue to go to war on September 25th at the Battle for Buckshot in Spartanburg, South Carolina. I'm tired of this, man. I thought you were better than Derek Vanderford. I thought that you were better than that, man. But let me tell you this. I am going to continue to go to war. Every punch, every kick, every strike, every throw that I am going to bring to you is just going to make it so much sweeter. So much sweeter. And you're going to realize that when we step in that ring, the whole night, it's not just going to be lighted up. It's lights out.
There you have it.
That's
going to be a fight.
Yeah. So the All-American blue chipper Chase Emery will finally get his opportunity for the Pro Wrestling Union heavyweight title against Landon Hell, the man that beat Randy Wayne, who also had a very lengthy championship run at 518 days, dethroning him. And Chase Emery, who is a fantastic athlete, I will not take that away from him. But it did kind of surprise me, the fact that he would jump Landon directly after finishing a very hard-fought match against Chris Vallo at our previous show here in Union, South Carolina on August the 14th. And, I mean, he made the message very loud and clear. And if you haven't seen
Chase, got a little birdie chirping in his ear too now. I mean, you can't forget that part of the story.
Yes, and don't worry, he's not going to be showing up on my property. I've got big dogs, and they're stationed around, so no invasions like the one time.
I will never forget that, man. He just walks in the camper and starts talking. I'm like, okay.
Yes, I have a camper, so that way I can go out and I found a place, the park, and have like a night to enjoy myself because I was excited for a show that we were doing. You and we did the interview, and I thought it'd be peaceful.
Right?
I swear to God, he just comes in like a crackheaded Michelangelo that Outlaw would post in a comment.
There you go.
That's right. I'm talking to you, Outlaw. I remember the crackheaded Michelangelo you posted earlier today. That was funny and creepy at the same time, by the way.
Oh my gosh, that's great. Oh, but yeah, I saw that to be the championship match, and I got really excited. That's wow. I mean, Landon and the Blue Chipper going at it, and that's going to be one amazing fight. As long as there's no outside interference, in my mind, anyway.
Well, the G himself will be there, so G. Frederick Vanderford will be part of the. Will be at ringside because he does have his manager's license. He's allowed to be there. He does everything in regards to what the referee can see as part of following the rules of the State Athletics Commission here for South Carolina. So, I mean, there's nothing I can really do about that. So,
right.
I mean, I have clout, but there's only so much I can do before it becomes too dictatorish, and I don't want to be that guy either. So.
I said, I was trying to let you do your interview like a pro. Oh.
Hey, look, man, we cannot just let that go. I mean, when somebody throws up a crack at it, and people are like, "What is he talking about?" Scott posted that I was going to be on the show earlier today. Outlaw made a comment, like Outlaw does for everybody that comes onto the show, unless it's Outlaw.
Right.
And that's fine. I gave him the Bugs Bunny thing, and I meant that being like I'm Bugs Bunny and he's Yosemite Sam, because he wears the hat and everything. But the next thing you know, he throws up a little gif of a Michelangelo from Ninja Turtles.
Right.
If you don't know who that is, I can't help you. And it's almost like he's super glitching. It's like going 120 miles per hour, and it's like the funniest and creepiest thing you'll ever see in your life. It made my day, is all I'm saying, Outlaw.
Yeah.
It made my day. Thank you. Just say you're welcome. Okay.
Oh, that's not going to happen. But anyway, until he says something, let's go ahead and keep talking about Buckshot, because I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, he said yes. I'm badass for no reason.
All right. And going back to the Buckshot, of course. And one last thing, Ron Emerson did tell me to tell you, if you still need a ride, he's got you.
Okay, I got you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
But yeah, all proceeds, they definitely go to Buck. Yes. The Unifier Department, they've been super gracious about letting us have use of the building. It's almost like a homage with Classic Pro Wrestling, since that's where they hosted a lot of their shows over the last few years before COVID kind of shut everything down.
Right.
So as soon as I brought it up to the chief there at the Unifier Department, at first, he was like, well, just as long as there's no issues between now and then. But then next thing you know, he said, yeah, you're good. And he got everything set up from there, and they've been nothing but tremendous throughout this whole thing.
I love that. Because like I said, I have been there. I don't know. Have you been to the Unified Department to watch a show?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But it's a great place.
You talking to me or somebody else?
Talking to you.
Okay, Scott, let me explain something to you. I was part of the show for 6 months before I retired, and then when I tried to gracefully bow out, I was the Classic Pro Wrestling commissioner because
I remember now. I'm stupid. You have to excuse me.
Yeah, Buck could not let me go. They for some reason they like Cole McAbee, and I don't know why. Half of the audience watching right now, and it's probably like 3 right now, probably, because I'm up here.
Believe it or not, a lot more than that.
But half of them hate my guts.
You're in the double digits, sir. You're in the double digits. I'll let you know that right now.
Woohoo! Well, while we're in the double digits, I'm going to sit here and eat a slice of my 3-meat treat from Little Caesars, not a sponsor.
Not one of the many sponsors, but yeah, it's good. It could
be
Little Caesars. Could be soon. You never know. I won't say no.
I won't say no either. I'll come on to the show. We eat pizza. We talk wrestling. That sounds like a winner, to be honest.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I mean,
while drinking Mountain Dew.
Right. Not a sponsor, but could be soon. Oh gosh.
I'll send you my address later. Pepsi.
Oh dang. Joshua said you have 2 clown fans. Ha ha ha. How does that feel?
I have 2 clown fans. Ha 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 ha. How does that feel?
Yeah, that's what he said.
You know what? I've actually heard other people say
He said
worse.
Ringling Brothers is watching you.
Ringling Brothers. I mean, I've been accused of being an outlaw mud show goof, so I mean, you know, as far as I'm concerned, it's a step up.
And somebody claimed that PWU was an outlaw mud show goof.
Outlaw mud show goof. Yes, somebody has done that.
Wow.
You know, I mean, you know, your opinion is your opinion. That's all it is. So
Wow. But it's wrong. But they can have their opinion, but it's wrong. Where and when is the show? Man, you're going to come over here and do that? Gosh, Outlaw. Really? Okay, fine. I'll let you have the intro for this moment.
September the 25th.
There you go.
September the 25th. This is
25 Main Street, Spartanburg, South Carolina, the Unit Fire Department. When you're heading down Haines Street, you can't miss it. It's the big blue building with a bunch of big doors in the front. You can't miss it. Now, on that night, all the fire trucks will be out front, so you can't miss it. Because it's going to be hard to do a wrestling show with the fire trucks in the actual fire department. I'm just saying.
I don't know. We can do some sort of ladder match and let it be confused. It's like, well, we were thinking like a ladder. We didn't realize it was a truck that just had ladder on it. You know?
Oh my goodness!
Now that is outlaw mud show, I guess. I suppose.
I mean, I've seen people do some cool things with fire trucks. There was another indie wrestling show that last year brought in the guy who was challenging for the heavyweight championship. He was doing a double dip that night, and they actually brought him from one show to the other in a fire truck. He actually showed the show in a fire truck.
I had Dion Johnson. He and I had to work a show, and I think this was over in it was either in Clinton or Lawrence. I can't remember. It's in that area. But we had to end up doing a show that was right out of their public safety building, and they had fire trucks that were just right outside of the show since it was an outdoor show.
Right.
He immediately grabbed me, and he's like, "Come with me." And I'm like looking, and there's a fire truck, and I'm like, "Oh, no, we're not." So he's actually thrown me into a headlight of a fire truck, and I in turn threw him into the grill, and I don't think they noticed the dent, but it's okay.
It's always fun when you have large inanimate objects that you could throw wrestlers into or on top of or around or
South Carolina Athletics Commission code says that you have to have a barrier. There was no barrier, therefore it was free range. Defense.
The fire truck became the barrier.
Yeah, it became the barrier, and that was back in 2007, 2008. So it's been a while.
Diet Coke, not a sponsor. Could be soon.
Wait a minute. I think Mountain Dew is a Pepsi product. We might have a conflict of interest here.
Yeah, conflict of interest going on.
Yeah. Well, there went your sponsorship, Scott.
Yeah, there it went. Stuck on it. Well, I got Pepsi in the refrigerator too, so best of both worlds. I could have the Pepsi challenge right here, on the show. Just saying.
Now, something else I mentioned earlier today. I said I might be doing a little bit of shooting today.
Oh, okay. Well, let's hear it. I'm ready.
All right.
I'll tell you what. Let me hit a commercial real quick. I want to get this. Got to get all my sponsors out there, the many that I have. And thank you very much for Vista Ridge Outfits and Miller Park Minute for joining my sponsorship. Miller Park Minute is a baseball YouTube channel. A friend of mine, Eric Agnew, does it. If you like professional baseball, go check him out. Vista Ridge Outfits. They're going to be having all their stuff going here pretty soon. Hopefully, she told me October 30th, hopefully, is the date they're setting to have, all their stuff up. And then they'll really be throwing some sponsorship stuff out there on the page. But let me hit another one of my favorite sponsors, if I can find it. There we go. Retro Toys and Collectibles. We'll be right back.
This is 4 Foot Batman. And 4-Foot Batman knows the home of great collectibles at awesome prices. Retro toys and collectibles, movie memorabilia, Magic the Gathering cards, wrestling figures, Hot Wheels, the always popular Funko Pops, and much, much more. He knows the Hall of Collectibles is located in downtown Cherryville, North Carolina at 400 East Main Street. Give them a call today, 980-989-5181. Retro Toys and Collectibles, the heavyweight champion in collecting.
There you go, Retro Toys and Collectibles. If you guys collect any kind of toys, especially wrestling figures or belts or anything that has to do with wrestling, go ahead, go in there. Cotton's the guy that runs the place. Ask him. If he doesn't have it, he can get it. I guarantee you.
I love that 4-Foot Batman, by the way.
Yeah, you know Chuck Winchester, my producer. That's his 4-Foot Batman, and he's very proud of that thing. It goes everywhere with him almost.
Yeah. So, and Scott, and every time that I've been on the show, and I've always been appreciative that you always let me come on here, and every time we feel like we have like a pretty good time. I try to be. Right. I try to be a little whimsical. I try to be a little funny while trying to be informative about what's going on.
Right.
All right. So glasses are off.
Uh-oh. I'm going to have to sit back for this one. Go ahead.
Okay. So it's not what you think it's going to be. It's just some things that I've noticed in regards to people in the business, in regards to attitudes that I've seen or been brought to my attention. And this really escalated like the other day, when Rob Killjoy, who, whether you like him or not, he's one of the hardest working guys here in the South. Right, he travels a lot. He puts nothing but 110% behind everything that he does. I saw him post a little snippet from one of his matches from one of the local shows in upstate South Carolina.
Right.
And he kind of focuses in on the referee. And you could hear the crowd, and they're doing what Rob does. Part of the Ugly Ducklings, they do the quack, all over Rob. You see this referee, and it gets a good shot of this guy for this wrestling promotion.
Okay.
And you could see him turn around, and he's now in view of the camera. And he's got this look on his face like he's pissed off at the world, doesn't want to be there, and he does this. And then smacks the tag rope that's attached to the turnbuckle, which was like a very disrespectful gesture. And,
the referee did this.
Yeah, the referee did this, and it's in plain sight. If you're friends with Rob or anything like that, he's got it on his page somewhere. And Rob didn't ask me to do this, and I'm not, or anything like that. It's just that things that I notice in this business, and I know it's kind of getting dark, so I might move.
Why would you do something like that? That makes absolutely no sense.
Well, no, it doesn't. And here's my thing about this this is me being serious. This is me as a person who loves and respects this business. Doing stuff like that.
Brian's got his popcorn and he's listening.
Yeah, doing stupid stuff like that, and I'm going to say it, and I'm not going to be nice about it. Doing stupid stuff like that makes you look like an idiot, and it's disrespectful to the business. I don't care if you like the guy. I don't care if you have no respect for him or anything like that, because all you're doing is making yourself look like a complete and total ass. Okay, so I don't know who this guy is, and I'm going to be honest with you, I don't care to know who this guy is until this guy gets the courage to actually contact Rob and apologize to him for being a douche.
Right.
But, because, all he did was just do a complete goof thing. That's all it was. It's a complete goof thing. It's not acceptable. Because when you go out there,
it does two things really. One, it was really bad on the promotion that he was working for. It shines them in a bad light. And two,
my son.
No, you're good. I'm trying to choose my words carefully.
Go back in, okay?
And the second thing it does is it promotes something that shouldn't be promoted.
Yeah. Well, see, here's the way I look at this. When you do stuff like that, not only do you make yourself look bad, the person that I feel bad for the most is not necessarily Rob, because I'm sure other people have done something like this, but done stupid stuff like this before, and Rob, he could probably take it or leave it because Rob's professional and he knows that can come with the business. Hey, go inside. But the person that I feel the worst for is the person who trained this guy. Because what does that say? What does that say when you're
in contact with this guy or friends or anything? I mean, that's horrible stuff right there. I mean, you don't do that. That's wow.
So basically, what it does, and and I'm thinking about people that took the time out of their lives to show me things about this business,
right?
And whether it be people that people respect or they don't, or whether they know them or not. But I have to give credit to people like the Brody Ray Chases. I have to give credit to people like the Raging Bull Manny Fernandez for showing me some things. I have to give credit to a man named Daryl Duggins for showing me things. I have to give credit to my older brother when he was in the business a long, long time ago. He showed me a little bit of the stuff, and Derek Vanderford, who took time to also work out with me day in and day out outside in a crap ring, just so that we could perfect a craft that we loved. Never do I dare try to insult anybody in that sort of fashion,
right,
or do anything that would dishonor those people. So something like that, I felt like that needed to be addressed. It's an idiot thing to do. And if this guy is watching, and I don't know who this guy is, you're a fool and you're an idiot. And if that's your attitude about it, you don't need to be in this business. Get out.
100%. I agree.
And that was pretty much my rant. It's just something that I thought about, and because I think about the guys who really bust their ass, right. whether it be just, as some people call, the weekend warriors, or some people that actually tried to make this into a full-time gig and try to get up to the upper levels and the upper echelons.
I mean, even the guys that work out and do everything right and don't make it. I mean, just they're satisfied with being professional veterans of independent professional wrestling,
Yeah.
I mean, you're crapping all over them too, and it just yeah. I agree with Brian Kanabrowski on this one. He said another example of a fan who should be in the seats rather than someone who's in the ring.
Exactly. And I know for a fact, if that was to ever happen at my show, that guy would never work for me again whatsoever. He would never be back in the building. I wouldn't even let him into a show to buy a ticket, to be honest with you.
I wouldn't blame you. I mean, he's promoting suicide.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it was ridiculous. It was nothing that was asked of me to say about it. Nobody asked me to do it or anything like that. You have to forget, yes, I get adjusted.
Are we going to get a dive off the diving board? Are we going to be able to throw up some cards, 10s, 9s?
No, we're not going to do that tonight, Scott. I apologize. I can't. I
tried. I mean, it is a warm night. I mean,
isn't that something for somebody to have a swimming pool in the backyard and they can't swim?
Right. Well, you could. It's just it would be on #truth.
You'd be getting a lot of calls from people. They were like, "Why didn't you do anything, Scott?" What can you do? You're in Chesney.
Yeah, that's right.
You are in Chesney, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The big town of Chesney.
I was just making sure I got that correct.
Yes, very much
there
so.
We go. There we go. I've got some light now.
There we go. Well, we weren't having a hard time seeing you over there, but it's all good. It's all good.
I know it's getting dark and everything like that, and I know it's a sin to have to look at the space, but
no, it ain't that bad. It's not that bad. I mean, it can't be. I've had John. This will be your 6th time. I mean, come on now.
Yeah, so you're scraping the bottom of the barrel, Scott.
It's all good. Well, I'll tell you what. Since we're being in such a good mood, let's talk about your next show. So I'm going to throw the poster you sent me up, and let's talk about it.
All right. So we will be back to doing live shows again November the 20th here in Union, South Carolina. This one entitled Infinite Possibilities, and there's a reason for that, is because we're getting the Infinite Man himself, Tim. You may have known him as Timmy Lou Retton, or you may know him as just Timmy Retton. He is the Infinite Man, and he'll be coming in to Pro Wrestling Union on November the 20th.
Nice. Very nice.
Very, very, very excited about it because he's such a fantastic wrestler. I mean, this is a guy that, he's the current Action Pack Wrestling heavyweight champion. He is the MLA Prestige champion.
Wow.
In fact, he just won the Gouge heavyweight championship, a title that he had before many years ago.
Wow.
He won that championship back not too long ago, and I think this past weekend, if I remember this correctly, him and Rob Killjoy won a pair of tag team championships. So
Nice.
he's going all over the place. He's doing great things, and he's going to be coming to Pro Wrestling Union, and I think that's going to be a treat for the fans.
So let's put this all full circle. So things that come out of Buckshot Show has a bearing on what's going to happen at Infinite Possibilities, correct?
Absolutely. But there is actually one other thing that we are doing before November 20th. I don't think you got I don't know if you got the poster for it or not, but we are part of a co-promotional thing on October the 2nd in Sylva, North Carolina. It's the Shop with the Cop 2021, where all the proceeds goes towards that charity. Right. And whoever wins that championship match, going back to Chase, Emery, and Landon Hill, whoever wins that championship title match this Saturday will wrestle the Outlaw Randy Wayne in Sylva, North Carolina, with that title on the line. So even though we've advertised it as Landon Hill, you never know. Chase Emery can come out on top, and then you're going to have Chase Emery as the new Pro Wrestling Union heavyweight champion taking on the former champion Randy Wayne. So.
Wow. Trying to find the poster real quick. I'm on a mission to find the poster.
Yeah. But yeah, a lot of good things that are coming up. So very excited for, and plus, I mean, working with Heroes of the Legends and High Velocity Wrestling, they're having two of their champions part of the show. The heavyweight champion, Crucifix, he'll be defending his champion against Jake Jacobs, who hopefully will be recovered in enough time. If not, the folks at High Velocity Wrestling, I'm sure they'll find a replacement for Jake Jacobs. So, Jake, if you're watching, I'm not sure if you are. You do most of the time. I hope you're feeling better, sir.
Yes, he sent out a message on Facebook earlier that he is home now.
Yeah, I saw that earlier, and that's really good because oh, man, you had to put the one with Chase superimposed on the poster.
I'm sorry.
That was not my artwork. That was something that was superimposed by the G. Frederick Vanderford himself because, well, you know what? They're confident, okay? They're confident.
He superimposed Chase Emery over. I got it. I see it now.
Yeah, I'm getting like super close to the camera. I'm not trying to freak you guys out. I was just trying to get a better look because, you know, I got a pretty nice size phone, but I took my glasses off, so therefore I can't see now.
I got you.
Scott looks like a thumb right now to me.
That's the first time I've ever been called something that small.
Looks like a thumb with a ball cap.
A brewer's ball cap. Get it right now. Get it right.
Well, I can't tell. My glasses are wrong.
I got you. So, man, we were talking about this earlier. There's a lot of wrestling opening back up. Of course, you guys are starting to open back up, and a lot of shows going on. Every Saturday there's a show going on now somewhere in North Carolina, South Carolina. All my sponsors down here are running shows. There's already a couple posters out for everybody. You've got 2 or 3 out there, promoting your upcoming events. I mean, wrestling is. Do you think that before next summer? Do you think next summer rolling around and the weather gets better, is wrestling going to be in full swing again?
That's the hope, but I know with everything that's going on, I'm trying not to get into political and all the news and everything like that. But
Well, I'm not trying to get political, but I'm talking about, you see the crowd. Are the crowd? Let me ask it this way: then, do you see the crowds getting bigger as we're going along?
I'm gonna say yes and no, and here's the reason why I'm saying that. I think across the board for most people here in August. August seemed to be a bad month for just about everybody. Just about not every person, but every promotion seemed to have had a downswing in fan attendance. Now, right. whether that's just because I'm going to be honest with you, I feel like a lot of that might be just because it's the end of the summer. People are getting those last bit of vacations in. There's also school
vacations, fairs coming out during this time, and all kinds of other things that are drawing people away from
But one of the people that I've always taught to and learned from on certain things have always told me, to be completely honest, that August was always one of the worst times of the month to be running shows. Right. So I mean, now some places did well. Some even though they did well, they will even say that they had attendance shortage in some areas. It happens. But I think, as long as we keep everything that's been going on as far as COVID and everything like that, as long as that's being monitored, as long as we're getting less and less people getting sick, yes, we're going to see a return of crowds. But if we're going to start seeing more and more of what we did around this time last year, we're going to go back into another dead halt.
Sorry.
And all I got was a flash of Chase. And,
yeah. So what I'm doing is I'm correcting my error. Here you go. There we go.
See, there you go. But you never know. Landon Hell is on this poster as the champion. But you never know. After tomorrow, he may not be the champion. So the first poster you put up might be the most accurate.
That is true, and I could see why Vanderbilt did that. I mean, that's smart of him.
Yeah, so, but regardless, whoever wins that matchup, they're going to be going up against a very determined former heavyweight champion that wants nothing more than to have that championship title back. And we know how he's kept that title for the 518 days that he held it, so I can only imagine what he will try to do to get that championship back. So,
Right. I still say the best interview I ever saw was when Randy did an interview with you and the other names.
Bill Hazelwood.
Thank you. It wasn't that he's not rememberable. It's just my mind, guys. You know. But and Bill Hazelwood, you guys had that one interview sitting there, and I think that was the most amazing indie professional wrestling interview I ever saw. I mean, Randy was Randy, and everybody there was who they, and it was awesome. It was awesome.
it was challenging, and the thing about Randy Wayne,
a year and a half later or 2 years later, I still remember that interview.
Yeah. And the thing is that Randy Wayne, he's a very challenging individual, and that we may not agree on every little aspect of the business. But at the end of the day, there's always going to be that little bit of respect for each other. We don't always have to like each other, but there's always going to be that respect. And being more serious on things like that should be how it should be across the board in professional wrestling. And I'm not trying to go back into the previous topic, but if you're in this business, and I know it's hard to do, guys, I have those challenges myself, and I'll be the first one to admit it. There are going to be people you're going to run into that you're either not going to get along with, or you're just not going to like from the get-go, whether it be a personal thing or just something that they do that irks you. The best thing you can do is try to show each other respect, because everybody is here for pretty much about the same thing. Right. And it all responds to having the love for the business. So.
Right. Why does everyone feel the need to try and be like the outlaw? Only one outlaw, the biggest bear in the woods, the meanest dog in the yard, and the most venomous snake in the pit. Boy, he just did a promo right there. John Matthews, how you doing, John? Brian Kanabrowski said depends upon the state. 300 plus people for 10-2 for us. August, PWX was fine. Pure was down. That's Charlotte. There you go.
So yeah, so I mean, like, look, and Brian, I'll say it. Yeah, he's got the biggest promotion here in the Southeast.
Right.
And even he's saying, yes, we're doing great for October. And if you haven't seen what their card's looking like, who they're bringing in,
Right.
you need to pay attention. That's going to be an awesome card.
Very much so.
I mean, there's no doubt about it. But then again, there's not really much of what PWX puts on that's not considered awesome. But
Right.
he talked about Pure Show. They were down, and guess what? It just happens. The formula doesn't always work, and anybody that tells you otherwise is a liar.
Right.
But people like Brian and the team that he's got behind PWX, they work hard to put their shows out.
Christopher said, respect and be a professional will carry you a long way in this business. That is very true. I mean, that is very true.
And to finish off what I was about to say, Pro Wrestling Union is a small promotion. It's not very big. I'm the promoter, I'm the booker, and I'm the person, like, if something happens, I'm the person that's got to step up and take care of it.
Right.
But I do everything that I can. I bust my ass. I go out there. I put out posters. I work on the social media stuff. I got a few people that help me out with stuff, and I appreciate their help in everything that they do.
Right.
But I want to ensure that I get people that pay a ticket to come see my show. I want them to walk away saying, hey, that was a great show. That it was worth the money that they spent.
Brian said, thanks, Cole. Appreciate you as well. There you go.
Thank you, Brian.
I mean, one of the things that I cried about, and I will say cry, the one thing that I cried about earlier when, hashtag truth came out, and I noticed in the area, I was like, nobody's working together. Everybody's working against each other and working, to pull the fans apart. And now all of a sudden it just seems, Pro Wrestling Union. There you go. It's just now you got companies, and you're one of them, banding together with other companies making these shows. I mean, CPW, you're doing one with CPW tomorrow night. You got one, out there with
Heroes to Legends and High Velocity Wrestling next week.
High Velocity Wrestling. There you go. That's, you know what I'm saying? That it brings two fans that probably won't go to different shows. It brings two fandoms together, and you never know. Hey, oh, well, if that, and that's what I do. I'm not going to lie to anybody. Everybody who knows me knows HWA is my home. If you're not running on the night that HWA is running, there's a good chance I might come to your show. But if HWA is running, that's where Scott Larson will be, because that's my home. That's where I've been for the last, 3 years. And it's not a secret. I've got a show called the HWA Show. I mean, come on.
and that's the thing. Every promotion, and I know this for a fact, because when I was a wrestler and I would go to several of these promotions and be, all around.
Robert Big Country said, you'll always be cool to me, Cole McAbee.
I know what he's hinting at, and we won't get to it.
There's a story there, Cole. Come on, man.
Screw it. We'll get to it. Yes, I used to be in a tag team called Perfectly Cool. I was Cool Cole McAbee.
Gotcha.
Not my choice. That was the name the booker gave me. My tag team partner, on the other hand, was Perfect Patrick Price, who happens to be one of the producers there for PWX. So we got that connection. And I actually told Brian about that. It's been a little while ago, but I had to tell him about that. I was like, ask Patrick about that one.
Cool Cole McAbee. That's coming every time I hear from you now.
So I'll send you a picture of me and Patrick when he had his blonde hair, and we sat there with our matching singlets and shades, and looking all cool and sexy and all that stuff.
Nice.
We were sexy bitches. I won't deny that. So.
Oh wow! There you go. Oh my God, he's trying to book himself on you. Look, Big Country versus the Outlaws.
He's ready to go.
Right. Brian said financially it makes more sense to split the event costs for smaller promotions. That works too.
Yeah, but I mean, because
Brian laughed. He said, "I've seen that pic."
But the one pic, and I swear to God, I can't find it. And I swear to God, if I find it, I will frame it, and I'll even send a copy to Patrick whenever I get a chance. We had a show that we did, and on the show, it was me and him against Ricky Morton and another guy. At the show, there was a large, like life-size, large poster of the Rock and Roll Express.
Okay.
Like back in the 80s. Patrick had the blonde hair, and of course, my hair's dark, so I immediately jump in front of Hoot's side, and he jumps in front of Punky's side, and we do the little, and had somebody take a picture of us like that, mocking the Rock and Roll Express, just to be funny. Nice. But you know, it was fun, and then on top of that, we got to work with Ricky Morton, who's the best. So, you know.
Right. Christopher Burton. Here we go. Christopher Burton said, American Pro Wrestling, Boulder Springs is my home, but now I'm in podcasting. I work with a lot of different wrestling organizations, just like me. Same thing. Christopher, I promote everybody. There's not a wrestling promotion out there that I do not promote, and everybody will tell you that's the way I've been since day one. I won't deny anybody a chance to come on and you know, put their promotion out there, no matter what you think of them or how you think of them. That's just the way hashtag's always been and always will be.
Yeah.
Just saying. But yeah, getting back to what we were saying, and we only have a few more minutes, so we're going to get back to the Buckshot poster. Let me put that up real quick, because we really got it. Guys, show up and show out September 25th, tomorrow night, 1025 Haynes Street, Spartanburg, South Carolina, Unified Department. You can't miss it. Once you turn, there's only two ways you can turn on Haynes Street, two major ways, and you can't miss it when you're driving down. It's the big fire department. You'll see it. All the fire trucks will be out front. You can't miss it. Buckshot is just a great wrestler. He's a great guy. He had a stroke back in May, and, you know, I understand where he's coming from with the hospital bills and all that stuff. Trust me, I know that. I'm way behind. Trust me, my number went way down as far as me being able to go and get a loan or whatever. My credit score went way down, buddy, when all this stuff started hitting. So I understand that part.
But just one correction, it's not going to be tomorrow night. It's going to be tomorrow afternoon. It is going to be an early show.
I'm so used to saying night. I apologize.
No.
It's 4:30. Bell time is 5:30. There you go.
So you catch a show that's early, and of course, if you're not tired of wrestling, there's several shows that are going to be in the area. Yeah. You know, whether you make the trip over to Gaffney, whether you make the trip over to Taylor.
I'm going to show some of those. As a matter of fact, some of them are my sponsors, so I'm going to go ahead and use that moment right now to hit some of them posters. I hit them the other day. I'm just going to quickly go through them. HWA, September 25th. Keep your head up. Yep. You don't want to miss that show. Also, there's going to be a toy drive, All-Star Wrestling Alliance, December 10th. They're doing a toy drive. You don't want to miss that. Billy Ruff Memorial shows 5 and 6. It's going to be 2 shows in one because, like we said, the COVID took away show 5. So they're combining both. It's a tag team tournament and an over-the-top battle royal for the Ruff family and my good friend Rhonda Ruff to celebrate Billy Ruff, her son, who died way too early. He was a firefighter. That's going to be in Gilkey. You got AWS Takedown coming up the 25th, so you don't want to miss that either. You got FTW, Future Titans of Wrestling, coming up October 21st. You don't want to miss that. That's going to be at Mooney's Lounge in Charlotte. And of course, we're talking about Pro Wrestling Union, Infinite Possibilities. That's going to come back November 20th. And of course, see, I had to put it up here. October 9th is my benefit show. Excalibur Championship Wrestling is going to have a show for me and my family with the stuff that's going on with me and having to have surgery, brain surgery in February. So there you have it. That is all of them. And of course, I'm not going to forget this one either. You've got shop. You can say, hey, give the information. I've been ran out of breath.
All right. Heroes to Legends. Now, see, I can't do it either. See, look at Heroes to Legends Wrestling, along with Pro Wrestling Union and High Velocity Wrestling. We present Shop with the Cop 2021. It's going to be at the Jackson County Rescue Squad in beautiful Sylva, North Carolina. We got several matches lined up. Proceeds do go towards the charity for Shop with the Cop that helps children get gifts for their Christmas. You need to talk to Chad Jones about everything as far as the statistics, as far as the kids that are done with, they're either homeless, there's not money coming in, stuff like that, kids that have to do without. So this is actually going to a really good cause. But fantastic matches. Card was also subject to change because the Heat Seekers, they're no longer going to be part of that show. It just because booking it just happens,
Right.
They're one of the hottest tag teams in the world. Sometimes things happen. So instead, we're going to have the Revolt. They're going to be taking the place going against the Koloff Dynasty. That's going to be an awesome match.
Right, without a doubt. I mean, there's so many great wrestling shows coming up, man. I mean, don't miss any of them. If you got a chance to get out there, there's a lot of great. And again, if you haven't looked up, folks, and I know you are, if you haven't looked up at AEW, haven't looked up at WWE, North Carolina, South Carolina is starting to become represented. They're starting to creep up in there. Mr. Hobbs, Will Hobbs, that was on Hashtag Truth just a year ago. I had him on Hashtag Truth here, making it big in AEW, man, making a big name for himself out there. And I that's my claim to fame right now. He's my, as far as indie wrestlers right now that has been on my show, that has made it big. I have to say, Will Hobbs right now is the biggest, other than the Rock and Roll Express, but they did a nice 8-minute interview with me.
Did you not have JD Drake on here once?
No. I've asked JD Drake dozens of times, and the best I've got was a maybe.
Okay, all right. I thought
be all over JD Drake. I'd be bragging big time about JD Drake now. Come on.
Because like the other day I was actually watching AEW Dark because of course I saw where they advertised where it was going to be JD against Colt Cabana from the Dark Order, and I was like, oh, that's going to be a treat,
Colt Cabana, another one.
Oh, I love Cole Cabana. So,
right.
No, this is a good time for wrestling. It really is. There are some people out there that'll flat out say, "Oh no, the wrestling indie scene," and some of them even go as far as say the South Carolina wrestling scene is dead, and their opinion really matters shit to me. But I'm sorry, I don't usually swear this much on your show, Scott.
No, you're good. Hey, it's all good. There's no rating on my show. Tim said so many shows where I'm only one person. That's when you say it's whoever books me. Hey, if you're good enough of a wrestler that you could say, hey, it's whoever books me, that's awesome. That's pretty good.
Well, long time ago, somebody had said something on one of the Facebook sites about coming to a show, and I was just trying to be cute because I was still wrestling at the time.
Right.
But I said I don't go anywhere unless I'm booked. Les Thatcher liked that status, and I thought that was the coolest thing ever because Les Thatcher's a legend. So
right. That's when you've made it somewhere.
Yeah.
Well, man, I'm going to put up the Buckshot poster one more time before we get out of here. We're going to promote the crap out of this show because this guy really is a good friend of ours. So I'm going to go ahead and let you do the honors for the last time. Here we go.
All right. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow afternoon, we're going to open up the doors at 4:30, and the bell time is going to be at 5:30, if not sooner. Benefit for Buckshot is co-promotion with Pro Wrestling Union and Classic Pro Wrestling. 5 awesome cards on there. Also need to go ahead and mention Rubber Ducky Car Wash over in Spartanburg. They are the sponsor for this show. They were tremendous for being a sponsor. $10 general admission. Children under the 5 years old and under, they're going to go ahead and get automatic free intermission. That's perfectly fine. The point is not putting money in my pocket because it's not. Right. All proceeds go towards the medical expenses for Buckshot Carter. Even the concessions, which is being provided by the Unifier Department, they're doing that. That's going to go into the pot for the expenses. I'm going to be selling Pro Wrestling Union T-shirts. that money is going into the donation pot, guys.
Nice.
This is strictly for Buck. And even if you're not a wrestling fan, but you know Buck Carter, you know the family, and you know the kind of person he is, just show up just to show support. And if you are a wrestling fan, I guarantee you're going to be treated to some really great professional wrestling action, because I'm not going to promise you anything otherwise. I got a great line.
And there is something on the poster that I do have to say. It's kind of sticking its ugly head out at the bottom there. Don't forget, bring your masks. I know.
Well, that right there. Well, before we say anything, that is a precaution that the fire department did ask of. Okay, and
right
now,
and I understand, because you're going in there with firefighters and they don't want to catch COVID. If you accidentally have it and don't know it and you pass it on, I can understand that perfectly. So,
I'm not here to preach. I'm not here to do any of that stuff.
I wasn't planning on doing it either.
whether you are a person that is for the vaccinations, whether you're not for the vaccinations, basically it's just there as a common sense. If you're not feeling well, do not show up. It's just like it's just like going to work. You're not going to go to work not feeling well. You know?
Buckshot is a great guy. Love that whole family, praying for great success. Joshua said hashtag rocks. Thank you very much, Joshua. Now there's a question. What if you're mentally under 5 years old? Can I still get in free? Okay.
That's actually in years of life. So because if that be the case,
oh my gosh,
dear God, how many people are getting free admission? I mean, the wrestlers alone. They're like, me.
I ain't gonna lie to nobody. Well, Cole, I appreciate you coming on here, and I know we had this set up earlier, and I had to shut down hashtag for a little while because of my problems and everything, and so I appreciate you coming on. I got a hold of you again and said, hey, we got to do this one more time for Buck, and you jumped right on it, and I appreciate that. And everybody, please show up for Buck Carter. Show up and show out.
Just for you, Scott. This water is freaking cold.
Oh, there you go. See, I told you.
I'll dip my feet in it. There you go.
But I am going to say this. We say wrestling's a brotherhood. Let's prove it. Let's prove it by going out there and $10. I mean, $10 ain't a whole lot to ask. You're going to get a great wrestling show, 2 championship matches, 3 championship matches. I'm sorry, I forgot about the one you added. 3, and 2 great companies coming together to give you a great show. The Unit Fire Department is an awesome place to have a wrestling show. And then again, Buck is one of us. So please come out and show up and show out that night. I'm begging you as a member of Hashtag Truth. If you're a friend of mine, I'm begging you, go to this show. It's going to be worth every penny of it, and Buck is worth every dime of it.
And I greatly appreciate you saying that as well, because I'm going to say it one more time. I feel very honored that Buck and Cindy allowed me to do this for them, because since I have known Buck, which has been only just like up to 3 years,
right?
In that short amount of time, he went from just being a guy that allowed me to come in to do my thing as a wrestler, then offer me a position as the commissioner for whatever reasons that he had. He quickly became a good friend of mine. And like I said, that on May the 7th, when I got that phone call and I saw it was Buck's number, and I answered the phone, and it was somebody else, and they were telling me that they were having to load him up to the EMS, to the ambulance, and all they said is like he was asking us to call you, and that's something I'm never going to forget, because I had to pull over to the side of the road. I was traveling from right off of 26 through Newberry, going into Whitmire before getting into Union County, and I had my 2 small boys in the car, and they were just as happy and as pleasant as they can be, but I had to take a moment because
right,
I was worried about my friend, and
right.
that's the truth. That's not a sappy story. that's just the peak of what that day was like for me. And it was a really hard day, but I'm so thankful, and I thank God every day that Buck is still with us.
And I want to thank, I'm pretty sure you will too, on here in front of everybody. I know the guys from Unifier Department probably don't watch hashtag Truth, but I want to thank Unifier Department for letting this happen there at, you know, where he's home. So it's going to be a great place to have the show at.
All right. Well, Scott, this has been fun, sir. I always and that Thomas and PWF, they had a successful debut, and they got a show that's coming up in October, which is that's one of the shows I'm considering for October. I didn't want you to think, but there's a reason for that, and I'll just get to that real quick. The place that they're having it at, my grandfather used to be the pastor of the church at that building that they're and for me, that's something for me, you know.
Don't be ashamed if anything's happening on October 9th. Don't, because I want everybody to do what they do. That would make me happy. You know what I'm saying? But speaking of my show, I promised I'd do this, and I'm going to head out. I'm going to say goodbye to Cole, and we're going to go out with the commercial that's going to play for my T-shirts. If you want to help me out with my show, this is a commercial. Thunder Anderson did this for me, and I love this guy. Missy, appreciate it. I know you're watching. See, she said that's very cool. I'm going to end the show with my commercial. If you want to help me out, you go on kingenterprises.store, buy a hashtag Truth t-shirt. Not only will you be helping me, you know, show everybody my show, but you'll be helping me in paying for my brain surgery, which is coming up in February. So, Cole, I appreciate you, man. Have a great night. Great show tomorrow night. It's going to be fun to watch, man. Let me tell you, it's going to be a great show without a doubt.
Oh, thank you, Scott. It's always a pleasure to be on here, and I honestly mean that as well.
All right, Buckshot. He does more than just take baths and talk to rubber ducks, folks. Let me tell you. Go out there, support the man. He's a great wrestler, great friend, and he is a brother, and that is the hashtag Truth. We'll see you guys during my next show. I don't have one planned right now, but during my next show, we'll see you then. Y'all have a great night.
Guys, those of you that know me know I don't put my stamp of approval on much, but when Chris Thunder Anderson puts his name behind something, then I guess it does mean a little something. Now, we all know wrestling's a brotherhood, or at least we claim it is, so how about we step up and we prove it? Everybody's best buddy on hashtag Truth, Scott Larson, we got to step up and help him. He's got some stuff going on, and we just need to step up and help him. So click the link below, go to the website below this video, and buy a shirt. Hashtag Truth to support Scott Larson. All proceeds go to Scott for everything he needs. Remember, guys, hey, not only does he give independent wrestling a great name and support us all, no matter where we are, no matter who we work for, but he's also a retired vet. So that right there is enough for me to put my name on anything. So go to the website, kingenterprises.store. Again, go to the website below, follow the link, buy the shirt. They're going to ask for me.